Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy. I musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces. Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie na kolejnych warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy. Są to 252 warsztaty. Tematem dzisiejszego spotkania jest tłumaczenie 270 warsztatu. To jest końcówka tego warsztatu, to jest 15 minut do końca nam zostało. I kolejny warsztat to jest 271. I czas jest od 19 minut do godziny 39 minut. Dzisiaj mamy czwartek, 18 kwietnia 2019 rok. Tak więc zapraszam do wysłuchania, obejrzenia i podzielenia się swoim zrozumieniem. Tak więc zapraszam.
Ingredients across this planet because we are highly intellectual and highly dependent on our emotion of serving our nation. We went out to get educated to come back in to build a nation. We didn't have enough universities. We had to sit a test, exam after exam to get into university, one seat. We went out to get educated. Now look at the Iran. 4 million university, just the chairs. You try to build 4 million chairs in Iran university. Every person can walk in and has. European stole from nations. Iran made it on the back of his nation. You go to London University, it came by the slavery and stealing from Africa. Can you close that microphone, please? It's people have to understand leadership and the just leadership. There's going to be abuses in every nation. Even when Keshe Foundation becomes one nation, you think those who are a hierarchy will not do stupid things? They will do. It's part of the nature of the man. When we say nothing happens, we are ignorant to the reality. This is what I'll tell you. We start governing because we start understanding and informing the leaders how it is, what it is, and why we support them in that position. And we throw the technology at them like sweet, that they can see it, they can taste it, they can smell it, they can see what it brings for the nation. This is what it comes. Now we become clusters of knowledge seekers. We were individuals. Now I told my family, my wife, now the wife has seen it, she used it in the kitchen. Now my son has shown it and enjoys something else with it. Now the soul of the family comes together. Then becomes the neighbors. Now when you connect through one, you become one. But the beauty of this technology is spread across this planet in one go. This teaching today, every person across the world, how many nations we cover. If we can go and tell people when they read sentence where you read it, we cover every nation, every city, there is some knowledge seeker somewhere. And we are proud to be because we can do something with it. We start governing through the soul of the man, not the physicality of the man, but through love, kindness and sharing, and not through the fear. That's the difference. So when we see that now, when I can receive energy at the way that my soul can encompass my physicality, because I have my brother, my child, my wife, which feeds me with the same, then I can feed them. Then we absorb what we need. The atmosphere of the home changes. The intellect changes. The correctness of the contact changes. Everything has to be correct. Then you become Zoroastrians. And then you see the understanding of totality. Did we have to come to complete the cycle of Zoroastrian? Started with no punishment in Zoroastrian religion or belief. And now we are coming back to Iran, back to the root of it. And then we understand the civilization. The whole structure is the man to elevate himself. It's not necessarily to get out of this planet or go to Mars or Jupiter and become into space. It's to elevate his own soul that has the giving by kindness to his physicality, that he creates a point of comfort for his physicality. When the world leaders understand this and they see the abundance of the knowledge shared, the, the care for the soul of the man, then they will go back to it. When you become detached, it does not matter whatever it is, what happens is part of the process. It has to happen because it needs to be there. But we accept it, we live with it, we make it as part of the history of the life. But what do we do with it? How do we understand the next step of it? What is the elevation of our soul? Are we still getting more in case of someone that we don't have? Or do we give so much that we don't care? It comes when it's needed. I don't need it. When I need it, it's there. And if it doesn't happen when I think it should be there, there's a reason for it. And you don't need to look back. When I stopped my business world, which I came to serve as a Keshe Foundation, I left millions of dollars of diamonds with people around the world. I never come back to them to ask for it back. It was my hobby. It is something which I enjoyed, but to me has no meaning, because if I go back to it, I go back to the term of physicality. But I live the life it is, but I don't go hungry. There's always something which comes, is needed. The physical tangibility has no meaning. But to me, when I see Giovanni gets Naomi back out of an accident, and I see her drinking with her, and I see him home with her, I say it was worth living to save one such beautiful girl. And many, many. You think people listen to part of a rubbish from bunch of terrorists and pedophiles? No. In past few months I have realized they're gone, they're washed. Now they stand their own condition. The best thing out of stupidity was releasing my books, which I wanted to do from the beginning freely. I opened my patents freely, and thinking they're very clever, Mr. Dirk releases my books free. That was the best thing could happen. My knowledge became what I wanted. Out of their own enemies of us have served us. You want my books, you can pay for it, and they block my books in the printers. But they themselves have given it free, my knowledge. How many of you have downloaded my books and learned from it and you're here? I didn't get damaged. The act of, they thought damage was serving us. Nobody served us better. They wrote the book and they published the book, they freed the book. So I was just transferring the knowledge. Nobody has served the spread of the knowledge, free books on the internet, than the guy who thought he was doing something to damage. He served us. He's a servant to us. He's a slave to the foundation. He spends day and night to find a way to justify, but in a way he does serving. Let them do more. In writing more rubbish, the government wanted to look how the guy is here, he gives everything to us, and they put him for what? And then they start looking. Why? Because they're trying to trap the technology that doesn't come anywhere. Now we are isolated. You watch, you won't see any Belgian scientists out of Belgian borders. No international conferences. Governments have moved on it. They realized, and they've done it to themselves. Why? But they saved us. With doing it, people came to look why the guy's teaching so freely everything, and he's a fraud and a criminal, doesn't set up, doesn't match. I used the guns, I saved my child, I used the guns, I did something else. But it was a base to break the rules of the past, the kingdoms, the house. Who set this all up? A king. So the thief by nature. Now people see this stuff. Nobody has served us better than Turk. By letting the books free in different name, in the name of a woman, which is his behaviors. And then look how many of you have downloaded it free. We gave the patterns, we opened the patterns, all of you do. Why? You read, some of you didn't understand, some of you tried, some of the world scientists went to it, some people used it, understood what it means, the implication of it. So what? The more we serve, the more servants come to serve the foundation. And you've seen it. Nobody has served the foundation better than this. It's trust in the ability to share knowledge and elevation of the soul, which gives us the strength. So how do you want to open the shackles? You and I got beaten up in Belgium, we got poisoned in Italy by the same. And look where we are. The more they pushed us, the more we spread. When they came, I was on the phone when I could hear them beating Carolina. 7 men and 1 woman go to a house to beat a woman to kill. That's the justice of Belgian government. I could hear her, she was crying, Mehran, they're in there beating me. I could not get home. We packed. We left the country to Italy, and look what is done. The whole world got the benefit of it in a much better. They served us. They served the foundation. And now we see. When they poisoned my son in teaching, I was teaching like now. My son was with me, teaching the children, and he said, Papa, there's something wrong. I cannot, I'm going dizzy, something wrong with my stomach. They put poison on his toy. 6-year-old child. You don't do that with your enemy. That's the justice of Belgium's king, killing a child, trying to kill a child, poisoned by cyanide, arsenic. I watched my wife twice dying with no heartbeat, poisoned by Belgians in Italy. Doctors didn't know where to go. I crawled on my hands and knees from pain and they watched the poison. That's Belgians. A king, so-called, and Mr. Dirk. Now, we don't take revenge. We open, they see, they isolate. A worm, a parasite gets isolated. Now it starts. You watch. But it's to benefit of us. In that process, they served us. All of us. How many of you have downloaded the book and you came to understand it because you came across it? Millions of you. We are detached from physicality, but we have to live a physical life. And the more they do, the more they serve us, and with that serving us, elevates us to serve you better. We share freely. Today's knowledge, if you understand what was shared, it's the key to universal community opening. I said in the teaching, we'll open something if it comes, and it came. But if you understood what it came, what was released. The shackle on the physicality is the lack of strength in the soul of the man in trusting that physicality will come with it, because he loves it so much. So he has to embrace it, and then it becomes a light. Any other question? Shall we call it a day?
I'm wondering if we have a presentation about the plasma times. Is that going to still happen today, or?
No, mamy koniec tego tłumaczenia, tego warsztatu. Tak więc przejdziemy do kolejnego. Tak więc zapraszam.
Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you listen to these knowledge seekers workshops. As we see, we are in 271 sessions of knowledge seekers, and we're still learning a little bit at a time, brick by brick, building it up and trying to see where we can go and how deep we can develop this technology to the point that we can lead man and mankind to find a new dimension in life. Maybe, as I said before some times ago, that we're bringing this technology forward, that many of us who find salvation in just living a peaceful life and enough to be able to sustain life, we might find we don't expect more than a comfortable life. We can provide food or what we call energy to survive through the technology. We can create a condition of shelter. We can do all these ourselves. We can create a position that we can travel and land where we want. Then it comes, what is mankind going to do? Would the development of this technology in bringing men comfort will bring a stagnation in the school of thought of the man? And would we go back to again the old cycle? We're just forgetting everything and starting again. Or
excuse me, Mr. Keshe, I think there's we need to select your microphone there. It's coming through a bit like it's coming from the machine. Ah.
Is it better now?
Oh, much more presence. Thank you. You're right there now.
I forgot to push the headphone in. So it comes to the point that we think, do we need to go through all this rigmarole which we are going through now just to survive daily life? And then would some of us become more adventurous and start laying new ways for mankind, or at least for some of mankind, to find new, what I call, business, to be busy, that they can do something? Would this bring a new intellect in? Would this bring a condition that we can interact, we can communicate, we can find a space, position, that what is needed to be completed in non-verbal communication, or being able to interact with other parties, that you can amplify your thoughts, to be able to span the universe with the same kind of communication system. One of the most advanced communication systems we know of with us is what is electronically available today. We call it satellites. We call it everything else, but they still need digital electronic system to decipher it, that it can understand, and then we can understand what is being deciphered. This brings a lot of problems for mankind. You're going through chips, and you're going through the speed of sound, or you go through all other things, but does not solve what we call the zero-time communication. What is the next level of the human race line of communication? How do we come to be able to produce systems that in so many ways can transfer information across in the spans of universe, using understanding the flows the information across the universe? We rely on many things, but the new space of understanding, the new methods of understanding of line of communication, in line of horizon is what we can do, what we can spare, what we can more or less achieve. How do we create the new cycle of communication systems? Without a communication system, man becomes isolated in depth of the space. Because then we worried, what is my son up to? What is happened to the dog? Is everything safe? But I can't wait for 3 hours, 1 year for the voice to get to me from the other side of this line, the other side of the universe. In the teaching, understanding the creation of gravitational magnetic field system, we have realized these systems are natural communication system. Inherently, they send out and inherently they receive back. But as we've seen with the star formations, as we've seen with all the galaxies, as we've seen with everything else in the universe, we have to understand the strength of what is the strength of going and what is the strength of coming back. We're sending a message out, but maybe it's received, but how do we get the message back? Are we, as we say in the matter state, speaking on the same frequency, or is it a one-way communication? What are the new tools of communication using plasma technology, which gives man zero time? How do we develop these technologies? How do we take these new understandings of the work of the plasma into practicality of the use for mankind? At the moment, if you are in Washington and you're listening to somebody broadcasting live in Tehran, you see the mouth moves, or it has to wait till he hears the voice before he can answer. This is halfway across this planet. What are we going to do in the distance space of the universe? What facilities, what technology we need to develop that does not matter whereabouts in the universe we are and what kind of obstacles on the path, we can still send a message home. And still we can get this message back. That the no noise or obstacle in the universe can become barriers. Because if we understand the totality of the knowledge of the magnetic field spectrum, then we can tune into a specific line, a specific strength, a specific what we call magnetic field transportation, which gives itself at what a speed, at what a strength. And when I tell you I am at 15 Tesla, for example, 0.5 in magnetical and 4.3 gravitational, wherever in the universe you tune to that, you can listen. But do we have Tesla measuring systems in the universe? But do we have systems that can be fixed continuously, does not matter where we are, to transmit the whole noise, the whole voice, the school of thought and the soul that anybody in the universe can tune into? Like initial systems which we discussed, we can find new ways, we can find new methods, we can find the direction of the flow that allows us to bring a new understanding and a new technology in communication. How do we develop these technologies? How much have we understood the full knowledge that now we step up to the next level? In fact, if you look at all the teachings of nearly past year and past years, the communication systems has been sitting right in front of us. Because we never considered, we have ignored it, or we didn't ignore it, it's not there, we don't see it. We use it in health system. We use it in material production system. We use it in every aspects of this technology in a dynamic system. And to be able to understand and be able to reach the understanding of the others, we always said the system will take in any direction as it needs to. But at the same time, the same system takes what it needs to. Now we can see there is a common denominator. We know this system. This system exists within the body of the man. We have the soul of the man. Then we have the soul of the physicality of the man, which sits around the heart of the man. But at the same time, we have the physicality of the man. But every cell of the physicality has its own soul, which all interacts with the soul of the man. Does not matter where you are. Even though they have a connection through the dimension of the soul of the man to every other part of the body of the man. When your soul transfers its energy or the information to the heart. Sorry, the other guy standing next to you does not get the information to his soul of his heart, does it? What you feel emotionally in your brain, in reaction, in respect to the attitude of your heart and the dimension of physicality, does not give cancer to your wife or to your children. So we can see the zero-time communication, a specific direction, is already being part of the life of the man. The only thing is, move the soul here and move the soul of the heart of the man there. Or, in a simple way, find the strength that is to communicate. Does not matter where you take the body of the man, you still have access to the soul of the man. At the same time, as you have created a common denominator with the soul of the others, like your mother or father, you have, does not matter where you are, you have an instant communication. Then this brings man to a new understanding. This brings man to find out about actual the strength of the soul of himself, that through it he can communicate with the other souls. In the teaching of last week, we spoke about the common denominator that is within the soul of the man, which is within the soul of the creator and everything else. How do we tune to the specific? And we don't always want to speak to one, we want to speak to collective of the souls together. There is a party. You just don't want to talk to anyone. You want to say to everybody there is a birthday party or we're gonna blow the candle. How do you let? How do you choose?
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Like the soul of you. Somebody's microphone is open. The other souls across the universe can hear. This is the process that will be unique and it will be developed and understood and operational by the members of Universal Council and the Earth Council, where as a soul present on this planet, they are present in soul to those of the Earth siblings who travel the space of the universe. It's a commitment to common denominator, the strength of the soul of the mankind. This is why we do not choose the members of the Universal Council. We let their souls to step up as they have matured to that step to become the richer of all those who understand in the emotion of the language of spoken, or the emotion of the language of the man.
Sorry, Mr. Keshe, we did lose part of what you said there. When you heard the interruption, that was me coming on to ask if you were still there. We lost probably about 20 to 30 seconds, which was the part you were explaining about the when the Universal Council part came in there.
Yeah, so
perhaps you could just
no problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well now. Thank you.
Okay. What is happening? This is the reason why the members of the Universal Council are chosen by their own soul and not by the man. Because when you step up to become a member of the Universal Council, where you judge by your soul, you have managed to enter, to understand that point of communication with the rest of the souls of the common language. Because to speak a language, we trigger specific strength within the soul and physicality of the brain of the man. We touches the emotion of the man. But at the same time, if you are a member of the Universal Council in English and you have no access, you cannot reach, or whatever, let's say the Iranian, the Persian speaking language member of Universal Council can hear you. When you're at the beach and you shout in English, not only the Englishman hears, everybody else on the beach hears your voice. This is the next step in the development of the understanding, that sign of the communication, universal language sign of communication. Then you step up as a members of Universal Council, as a member of the Earth Council, and in deeper time, when the man becomes pure in the work of his physicality, that he becomes as close as to be a universal person, then you start hearing the voice of the soul of the other creatures of the universe. In a way, is the elevation of the soul of the man. We know this technology is embedded in us at the point of inception of the man within the womb of the mother. It is one of the first gifts given to mankind by the carrier, which is the mother, the soul of the mother. She talks to us through the emotion of the soul, where she is the capture by the noise, by the soul of the infant. This is the way it has been embedded within the soul of the man. Now, as those who we endeavor to enter a space, as I said, there are no dictionaries in the universe. In the physical world, when we want to ask for something and we don't know the language, we are crippled. We make all sorts of shapes and noises to tell what we need. Have you ever tried to ask for an egg when you are in China and you only speak English, you make the noise of the chicken and every other shape where it comes from to lay an egg. What and how do we communicate with a man of universe who do not even know what an egg is, let alone the bird? But as we understand, they will understand. This is the animal we have on earth. It flies, it lays an egg, and we eat the egg and the rest of it. But you have no language. You transmute by the strength of the soul of the man. In so many ways, is the mankind ready to dig deeper, not in this, what we call physicality of the man, but dig deeper in understanding the operation of his own soul. In so many ways, are we ready to open the, what we call the RNA of the soul of the man? The recordings which sits within the soul of the man, as not only when you make noise, why are you making these noises for? There must be a memory of the chicken inside the soul that explains the chicken. You do that in your dream to your mom. Mom, would you like some chicken? And she says, what a beautiful cooking. There is no chicken and there is no cooking. But she knows, and you see the chicken, and she sees the chicken, and she gives you a chicken, or you give her a cup. How do we create the images that it to us is real and to the receiver is responded accordingly? But there is no physicality of the man and there is no eye to see. But we see through the eye of the soul of the man. Is vision the only tools of understanding the environment of the man? Or do we become like other animals that we have a sonar through our soul, that we manifest the images according to what we receive and the strength of the receiving it? Now you understand how the next step of the development of the space technology brings one of the first needs of the man. He's not just flying, and he's not just getting into the spaceship. As I said, that's the easy part. Now, your problem was going up and down. Your next problem is, how do I communicate? How do I even communicate with the soul of my own physicality when the dimension of the fields of the universe are different? If you get a pressure or emotion, you feel strength and pressure on your heart. Now, what is going to happen when the man goes in the depth of the fields of the universe? How much pressure would you feel? Would your heart move to the top, or would the heart move to the bottom? Would the heart suddenly, through the fields of the emotion of the soul, releases so much energy that it blows the whole physical brain up like a stroke and you're paralyzed? But these are the conditions that mankind has to enter. Mankind has to understand before becomes passenger of the universe. Flying in the box, call it a spaceship, will become a prison for man if he does not know how to get out of it, to get inside it, to be able to communicate, and even in the depth of the universe, at the time of the need, to be able, through the soul of the man, to be in touch with his own creator soul. In the last week's teaching, I deliberately brought this subject up as one asked. We have a common denominator to the creator. This is the essence of the creation. In so many ways, now we understand the theory. Now we understand the totality if we can become strong enough to be able to travel in the school of understanding to the depth of strength of our soul. But as we said last week, we have different passengers aboard this ship of this planet. Those who would like to go with a bicycle, those who would like to go with a spaceship, those who would like to travel with the soul of the man. How does these two guys communicate and don't wait for a year for the message to come back? This man has to understand and go within the depth of his own soul to find the answer. I can teach many, but if you have not experienced it, how can you see the beauty of it? This, those of you who are happy to see a spaceship to be a passenger of, how do you make a system for these guys? And then how do you make a system for this guy on earth, happy on his bicycle? For this, you need a physical communication system. For this, you need a little bit more labor-intensive systems. With this, if you achieve this, then you become true passengers of the universe. You can travel anywhere because you can communicate. This is the stage that we elevate the soul of those who become the true members of Universal Council. The station of the Earth members of the Council in that line will be in that dimension. But they carry both of both directions. Now you understand why we chose the way we did members of the board councils. In this process, we are opening your eyes to the next entry, that once you enter the universal community, you're not a bunch of dumb and deaf people, where you can communicate not with the sign language that no one understands, but through the language of the soul of the man. Which way do you want to travel? Would you like to go first class? Or would you like to be on a business class, or we are happy to be economical? Or do we create a new class? We call them space class. Because then you have learned the language of space. You have become the language spoken that, like anybody else, you can translate the strength of the soul to the understanding of the interaction of the physicality of the soul of the man. Now you understand. I can teach you for years to come. Mankind has to take the strength and option on its own understanding of its own soul. And in that process, if you understand this, as we said, as the universal councils can reach the strength and the span of this universe, the Earth Council will reach, for example, the readers of this planet. Talking to the world leaders is not and should not be in the verb and voice by the members of the Earth Council. It should be direct through the soul of the world leaders. This is the gift which has been given to them. Where the members of the Universal Council have access to the physicality of the man of leadership, and through that they can influence the condition of the transformation through the soul of the man. There is a big difference between the two. As you can see, our teachings have become to the point of governing and teaching to understand how to govern, at what way and which way, that we are here to serve the humanity across this planet and in the span of the universe. But unfortunately, with a new understanding of the work of the soul of the man, there are no fighter planes and no aircraft carriers. It all has to fly on the ship of the universe, magnetic fields in the ocean and in the depth of it. And in so many ways, if you understand it, the ship and the water are made of the same. There is no separation between the carrier and what is carried on. This is a major point that the humanity has to understand. At this moment of time, we have a phone that we have to send something on it, through it, to another point. We have a ship, we need the waters to sail on it, where with understanding of the work of the soul of the man, everything is one. And this will be problem for many, many, many of the man of the earth to understand that in so many ways, even we make systems to be part of the communication line, but in fact, the system is the communication. This is what is the difference between the what you call mechanical system than actually a space system. You don't need anything at all. Then what you think is itself the carrier and the totality. So in reality, it's a zero space and time. These have to be understood. And those of you who understand the true meaning of this will move on to elevate your souls and move on to become the true passengers of the universe. Then you understand you can transfer your own soul across the strength of the fields of the universe, and then convert those souls to physicality of the presentation at the point of arrival. In a way, you shout, you send the message as you say, Mom, I love you. That voice, that noise is the carrier of your own soul. I want to be there. By the time you get there, it's the soul which arrives and not waiting for the soul to arrive. It needs a lot of understanding. It needs a total comprehension of the world of the creation. It needs to understand the process of transportation, transmutation, and at the same time, zero time, zero space, existence of the soul of the. Then the question comes, does my soul exist in that point of space and time? Those of you who manage to master this, and you know that it's a zero time and space, you can play many tricks. You can manifest yourself at the same time in the eye of the physicality in both spaces. Because the eye of physicality is at a lower length, where the speed of the soul of the man and the strength of the zero time and the space can manifest itself in many places. The slow frame is the eye of the man, where the soul of the man plays in the fast frame. Those of you who understand this, you might have found answer how some people manage to manifest themselves in different places at the same time in different dimensions. This needs mastering the presence. This, in so many cases, those achieve who go through a deep pain, which means they receive so much and they give what they have. We see these at the point of separation of the soul of the man and the physicality of the man. But man, at the same time, if he reaches the point of understanding of his own creation, does not need to go through the point of separation, but he can create the point of manifestation from the same process. If you understood, you have become a blessed soul. Which means as you move away from the dimension of physicality, the physicality of the man shall do no wrong. As from now on, the soul of the man is the feeder of the physicality of the man, which satisfies its need, be it love, be it hunger, be it everything else that that soul needs. Now we have to understand this position, this line of communication, this beauty of the creation. Then those of you who reach that point, then you understand, if you can, or you become, or you can stand to become a member of the Universal Council. As I said, we chose the member of the Earth Council. Those of you who are the member of Universal Council, you understood the need of the soul of the creation of the man, and in response to answer. Very soon many of you will step down, because you understand the true meaning of servitude by soul is different than the servitude by the physicality. You got to decide, am I traveling? I want to be with friends, enjoy the dimension of physicality, or do I travel with the soul of the friends in the dimension of zero time, in the spans of universe? Amazing to know how little we know about our own creation. Do we need to develop technologies to be able to communicate, or do we develop the understanding of the soul of the man? Both. is the freedom of the choice of the man. Or do we decide to be on one or the other? Then there is a very interesting point for those of you who have watched too many movies in the realm of the space. If you have managed to educate yourself to understand the operation of the zero time when you can move, then comes one question. Do you need any doorways to walk up space? Or do the spaceships of the true men of universe has no doors? As you can transmute your own soul to the dimension of the existence. This journey of understanding will take some of the mankind till the end of the existence of this planet, and some will mature to it within seconds. Then, if you manage to enter to this level, it comes another point. Does the mankind, or has the mankind, would the mankind be able to go through this barrier of physicality, or through the strength of the soul of the man, travel the spans of the universe? The answer for some of those who understand is very simple. In many teachings, I refer this to a very simple story. And that is, the dynamic systems which inherently have a soul in them have a limitation due to the copper coil. Then I would like to give you a very bad news. Copper sits within the structure of the physicality of the muscle of the man. Is this the shackle of man to be able to free the soul of the man? As did the copper coil, dynamic fields and the soul brought the creation of shackling man to certain fields. Is this copper coil, which is made of the muscle fibers of the man, the shackle to his soul to be freed from the physical existence of this planet? And I have a very good and very bad news for you. The answer is yes. Good news is that now you know the problem. Bad news is what you can do with it. Or does mankind move into the dimension of universal understanding of the knowledge of existence that creates the field that, irrespective of the matter content of the gans of his body, he can create, to engage this totality as part of itself, that it has no interaction with its direction of the motion in the dimensions of the travel, in the depth of the universe. Blessed those souls who understand. You were afraid of the copper coils to be able to fly. Now you understand. I have been giving you a hint for a long time. Many of you should have guessed this a long time ago. And I said many times, the muscle, the red tissue of the man is connected to copper. Now, you see, mankind has no difference between itself and the machine he has made to create a flight of itself. It has shackled itself to it by its limitation, and in so many ways, why copper? On this planet, we thought we were connected with the iron. Step up and step down. Now you understand why we have muscle tissue connected to the copper in the dimension of transmutation of the soul of the man with his neighbor iron. And if you 6, you understand the difference. Again, the life of the man is trapped. Again, through dimension of the subdivision of the fields of the universe, which gives the dimension of hexagonal, or what you need, and how one creates one and leads to the other to be captured by both, that it creates between the two the transmutation of the soul of the man. It's becoming easier to understand the cycle of the creation, the physicality of the man, and the cycle of the soul of the man. And then you understand how your physical life in the dimension of the motion of the blood of the man has become the line of communication for his soul, with the soul of the man. In a very short seconds and minutes, we have opened the mystery of the existence of the man, and it's the line of communication within himself to the rest of the universal. How long would it take you as a humanity to decipher this knowledge depends on the strength and what you put to the efforts of war or efforts of the peace, to spend more time, more whatever, to be able to develop the senses of the man towards the creation of the life of the Creator, which in common denominator has access to the soul of the man. You can download the whole knowledge of the Creator in no time, but do you have time in the dimension of the physicality of the man to make that no time? Then it goes back. Does the soul of the Creator have a space and time? Or the confirmation of the existence of the soul of the man gives an indication of the totality of the creation of the Creator in no time and no space. I wonder if mankind would have understood this so simply if was not building the space reactors with the motors. Then the dimension of understanding comes now that we have moved into the dimension of what we call dynamic systems with no motors. Would this allow us to create the exact dimensions of the soul of the man within these new systems? Where, in fact, through the systems we develop in understanding the process, we create new communication systems for the soul of the man and the rest of the universe. Those of you who've been busy with this with me, now you understand the message. When you put, like Dr. Rodriguez, your patients within the structure of the system, do you actually move their physicality, or do you increase and elevate the soul of the physicality? Do you enhance the soul of the man, or do you actually interact by elevating the soul of the man, the soul of the physicality? It's becoming very strange to be a man of medicine in the dimension of this. Now, many of you should have understood that going into space is not just understanding, lifting and having a box to call yourself. Now I'm in a smaller house, I'll call it a spaceship, but I moved in out of the earth ship that to be traveling within. Now we need to understand more. Now we need to grasp in more depth the totality of the knowledge of the man. And in so many ways, we need to be able to decipher everything we need. How do we need? How do we do it? On what level do we find ourselves to be in that process? Is mankind ready to really understand the truth about its own creation? Is mankind mature enough to understand that his existence is nothing but a mirage? Is mankind ready to take the soul of the man into real dimension of the existence of the universe than the matter physical condition of this planet? In my teachings in the past, I have explained something very interesting. Maybe those of you who understand it will come to go a step further in your journey in the space of the universe. And that is, I explained in my teachings in the recent past a lot of things. And that a lot of things has a lot of mysteries, which now maybe I bring to you a dimension of reality. How do I explain to you as human race where your dilemma sits? Let's say this is the sun and this is the earth. In our teachings in the past times, I explained something very simple. The interaction of the fields of the earth and the sun led to creation of the fields in the packages of the carbon and hydrogen and whatever. And then when these plasmatic field strength, it could have been gold or silver strength, they come in touch with the inertia of this planet, if I can choose a color, then we have seen what we call the matter existence of the entity. You become gold or you become nitrogen or whatever. Then you find tangibility of the physicality. Now, let's change some names and see where the man goes. We change the sun to the soul of the Creator. We change and keep the earth as the soul of the earth. Then would the interaction of the fields of the soul of the Creator in interaction with the soul of the planet Earth by creating the dimension of the fields of the universal energy in interaction with the inertia of the planet leads to creation of to physical tangibility in the form of what we call ganses. Then you understand how the soul of the man and interaction with the soul of the planet leads to creation of the soul, which gives the dimension of physicality in the dimension of interaction of the inertia of the planet. Then we understand why it's been said in the holy books, I made man in the image of myself, as is created by the fields of my own soul. You always looked at the physicality of the existence and not the true essence of the creation. Man is too entangled with his own physicality and never understood why, if I have iron in me, I cannot pick it up and nail it to the wall. But it becomes part of the fields of the creation in respect to the physical dimension of the inertial magnetic field of the soul of the planet, which gives me the physical manifestation. Then, if you understand this, you understand man can travel the span of universe anywhere, as the beauty of the soul of the Creator radiates across the same in the whole of the universe. Then, when you choose your new home, its field strength and its interaction of it will give you the manifestation of the presence at a point of the field strength. How much more can I teach you? In all my teachings in the past, I have referred to the fact that even the earth has a soul. Now you understand what is the true meaning of the soul, interaction of the soul of the man with its dimension of the creation of the soul of the Creator. That it manifests, leads to manifestation of the soul of the man, and with the interaction of the matter state of the physicality leads to the physicality or presence of the man. So the soul can move anywhere and it will manifest itself according to the strength and the position from the soul of the Creator. I am the beginning, I am as the messenger of God. So simple. I carry the message of existence from the Creator itself. and not in the position of dimension of existence. Maybe we have opened man's eyes to the true existence of two physical dimensions of his life. One of physicality and one of the soul of the man, where the two merges and the man has been confused in which dimension he exists. Now, what is the space and time? Or is man still confused in the dimension of his own existence? In so many ways, when you listen to the world of science of today, they say we are 99% the same amino acids and the same genome as a rat or a cat. Then the truth comes as the soul of the universe. How similar are we with the soul of the rest of the creation, where we have as a common denominator the interaction of the soul of the Creator. Now you understand the essence of it. This is how, when you lie, I see through you. When you betray, I see through you. When you sincere, I see through you. As I am made of the fields of the Creator, in every sense I am part of it, as the Creator. Closing my eyes does not mean not seeing the truth, as the soul of the Creator does not mean no eyes. As is the Creator of the soul of the man itself. Now, one of the biggest mysteries of the man's creation is on this page. How long will it take mankind to understand this and comprehend how man itself can travel not the physical spans of the universe, but in the dimension of the soul of the Creator? Then if you understand this, how long would it take you to reach the soul of the Creator? Or is the soul of the Creator the soul of the man in essence? This is the beauty of knowledge. If you understand, nothing has changed from the first pages of the first book. We just changed a few names and a few alphabets, but in essence, the creation of the man in this dimension of the soul is the creation of the soul itself in the dimension of its matter of position, to give its physicality or the essence of the creation of its soul. I am the beginning, I am the... But where does your end finish? And where does your beginning start? The totality of the essence of creation is understanding the creation, not looking at the creation. I have nothing to do with the soul of physicality. But in fact, I have to exist through the source of physicality to be able to take man across the lines of creation, for him to understand himself. Not for the creator to be at the point of the presence of the man. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I did have a question from Bente stored up here from Facebook. I think it's appropriate, actually. I didn't think it was initially, but now that you've introduced this, it seems perhaps it'll make more sense to you than anyone else. She says she had the great pleasure in going back to book 3 and studying it again, that this time I actually understand. And it's also helped with all the data that Mr. Keshe gives us in the Knowledge Seekers workshops on Thursday. Now I have a question. What determines whether a neutron decays to an atom of hydrogen or to a GANs of hydrogen? As in Book 2, Chapter 3, the conversion of light ray to the GANs of the matter. And it seemed to me this is similar to what you're talking about here in a way. So perhaps you can answer her question and attach it somehow.
In a way, if you understand the matter of the hydrogen is the interaction with the inertial energy field, the strength of the planet. The gas of hydrogen is the interaction with the soul of the planet, but it does not need to manifest in the matter state. In so many ways, if any of you have ever held a dry gas in your hand, you should have understood this. If you hold a dry gas in your hand and you try to put it back into the water, it would never become the same as the gas before when you tried it. You can still convert it back in, but you have to go to do the same process as the regular of the state of the matter. That's the only difference. In so many ways, when you become a GANs, you show the dimension of the strength of the soul of the matter in the dimension of the what we call the soul of the creator. In the writing of Baha'u'llah Ras's name, he says, even a stone has a soul. Maybe now for the first time man understands. you have to know where to look for the soul and how to free the soul of the man from the shackles of physicality. Otherwise, in reality, man is nothing but a stone. How we find your answer? Mankind has involved and evolved itself too much in the dimension of the physical life as it could touch it. If you can and you understand, and in true essence, if you manage to interact against his dimension of his soul, just wonder where it's going to end up within the soul of the man. We understand this fully and you use it in the health application, and now maybe for the first time you understand why we use the zinc for emotional. We use the copper for physical, and we use the CO as a line of communication in holding the two together. And in essence, the beauty, the sweetness of CH3 allows the line of transfer of the fields in the dimension of the strength of the amino acid of the man with the universe. Now you understand why I became a physicist. I look at the physics of the creation and not physicality. When you understand this physicality of the soul of the man, you get detached from the physicality of the matter of the man. Needs maturity of time and space. And yet,
Yes, we have two people with their hands up here, Krasmir and Azar. Maybe Krasmir could go first.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Keshe. This is Krasmir from Bulgaria. I have a question regarding the picture that you just drawn. When you say that with the matter, the physical matter becomes from the interaction of the fields of the sun with the inertia matter state of the earth, wouldn't it mean that if we become independent of the earth matter state inertia, we would not have to manifest ourselves in this sense, in the matter state, and we would be able to go beyond this interaction of the sun fields with the earth and thus go into the plasma state.
in so many ways, the creation of the man has a connection with the field strength of the matter state of this planet in the gaseous section, which is the amino acid. The amino acid, which is the interaction of the fields, is another chemical binding, you call it amino acid. is manifest itself in the dimension of total physicality, in in physical dimensions of the living things. But if you move it away from the inertial zone of the earth, there is still amino acid on the higher levels, and we see creatures in this way. And at the same time, you see amino acid, if you call it, which means the block of life, across the spans of the universe, is not a gift of this planet. This is very much, as I've said before, to you, nothing is there till you put your night vision glasses on. Everything, there's plenty of life in the background. Just because you can't see does not mean it does not exist. Now we have to understand, to look at the vision of the soul of the man, which is very much like a night vision, and it sees the totality. You see, when you wear a night vision glass, then you create that condition of interaction of the things. So when you have and look with the vision of the soul of the man, then you will see the light of the other souls. Man has chosen the easy way through the eye of physicality, so he does not need to bother with the eye of the soul that is much more effective, and it sees in the dark ages of the creation of physicality. Then, if you understood this, and you understand that you are in the position of the higher and lower length, strength of the field of the creation, would you like to be there? Or would you like to be there? There is something which man has to understand, and maybe it's the need for the explanation. Many times in the teaching, we refer to common denominator. In one of my teachings, I've referred to this a long time.
Mamy koniec tłumaczenia na dzisiaj. Tak więc warsztat jest naprawdę głęboki w zrozumieniu. Nie wiem, ktoś chciałby coś dopowiedzieć. Tak więc zapraszam.
Jeśli nie ma nikogo, wiem, że to jest ciężko cokolwiek dodać od siebie, bo tu jest tak naprawdę dużo powiedziane względem zrozumienia niż podjęcia jakichś kroków. Być może nas to trochę jeszcze ciężko jakby nawiązać i wypowiedzieć się w kwestii właśnie takiego zrozumienia, bo tak naprawdę tu powiedziane było bardzo dużo i nie wiem, czy coś można by było więcej wybrać, bo to jest jakby granica już fizycznego zrozumienia. Także ewentualnie z doświadczeń, jakie nam się przydarzyły, można by było jakby coś dopowiedzieć, bo jest pewnie u wielu z nas ciekawe doświadczenia, chociażby komunikacji, jakieś takie niezrozumienia czegoś w przeszłości, czego nie mogliśmy zrozumieć, i połączenie z tą wiedzą, która jest teraz jakby wykładana przez pana Keshe, daje nam pewne rozwiązania i zrozumienia tego, co się działo wcześniej, a nie mogliśmy tego wyjaśnić. Chociażby snów, chociażby głosów jakichś, dziwnych zbiegów okoliczności. No tu jest masa tego. I wiem, że coraz bardziej wchodząc w to, będą ciekawe jakby doświadczenia, zmiany. No, zmiany się rysują bardzo, bardzo duże. I myślę już niebawem, bo wiemy, że ten rok ma być takim kulminacyjnym, który totalnie zmieni całe zrozumienie ludzi. Tak więc zapraszam na kolejne spotkanie, a dzisiaj skończymy. Tak więc to były 252 warsztaty poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim z dnia czwartku 18 kwietnia 2019 roku. I zapraszam na kolejne spotkanie i życzę dobrej nocy przy pełni księżyca. Tak więc do usłyszenia. No i dobrej nocy.
Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie, nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto, co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.